Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to do a quick reaction video on the news that Wigan have been put into administration and will be deducted 12 points. So let's get straight into it. So yeah, Wigan Atheltic. Paul Cook's men, 3 wins from 3 since the return of lockdown. Looked like they were climbing the table and safe from relegation, have now been plunged straight back into danger with a minus 12 points deduction, which is either going to come at the end of this season if they finish outside the relegation zone, or be applied next season if they unlikely now finish in the bottom 3. And I'm gutted for them, really. I'm gutted for the whole of football. Paul Cook's done such a great job here, and you've got to ask questions of the EFL again. I mean, Wigan are the first club to drop into administration since the coronavirus pandemic. It's something we were warned about, that clubs were going to struggle financially without, revenue, fans coming in through the gates. But to see it happen is reality's hit home, really, for this club. And I'm sure several clubs around the EFL will be feeling exactly the same. Wigan looked like a solid mid-table championship club, and now they're really going to struggle to stay up with this. Dave Whelan, of course, is the man who is synonymous with Wigan Atheltic. He broke his leg in an FA Cup final once, don't you know? But seriously, he is a brilliant, brilliant owner. I think Wigan fans have been appreciative of him now. The new owners have come in and put them in all this trouble. He was there for years and years and years. He took them from what is now League 2 to the Premier League. He even won them the FA Cup, that brilliant game against Man City. And he has now said, he's been on TalkSport, he's been on the radio saying he could be the man to come back in. He will try and save the club. He'll do everything in his power to do that. Now the real question here is, how on earth did the EFL let this sale go through? Dave Whelan sold the club in November 2018 it was. He sold the club to IEC for 15.9 million. And that transaction seemed above board. Wigan were going okay this season. But just 4 weeks ago, the club changed hands officially once again, and I Young became the majority shareholder. His group, the Next Leader Fund, took control of the club. And how on earth, it angers me, to be honest, 4 weeks. How on earth did the EFL let this happen? 4 weeks from an owner taking control of a new club to going into administration. The one thing it says on the EFL Fit and Proper's owner test is that it determines whether or not a new owner has the money to buy a club and support it for the rest of that season and the entirety of the following season. So how has it happened that 4 weeks later they're struggling for money, they're almost out of business? They knew the impact the coronavirus would have. It was already a thing. It already looked like football wasn't going to be played in front of fans. We knew the start date of the championship 4 weeks ago. How has this happened? I mean, the Fit and Proper owners test is how is it still going? I don't understand. How does it keep letting clubs down, letting fans down, letting communities down, letting entire cities down? The town of Wigan's really going to struggle if they lose their football club or it gets relegated a couple of divisions. This is horrendous from the EFL, and they've done nothing to change it over the past few years. We've seen with Charlton, Coventry, Leeds, all of these different types of clubs. Clubs have gone out of business, and they're still just not changing a thing. Macclesfield have really struggled this season, and the owners that are allowed to come into this English game is ruining it for everybody, ruining it for communities. They don't realise how much this means. Luckily for Wigan, they've got Dave Whelan, who loves the club so much, and you need people like him in football because he is the type of man who you want at your football club, and he will make sure Wigan are okay. If he's got the finances, I hope he can go in and save the club, basically. This is really worrying, not just for Wigan, but for the whole of the EFL. Clubs will be taking note of this. But the EFL Fit and Proper Persons test, it just reminds me of the video of the steward where he taps people on the shoulder and lets them in. That is how good the Fit and Proper Persons test is. They let anyone in. If you've got a bit of money. This guy doesn't even look like he had a bit of money. They've gone out of business in 4 weeks. What is going on? But yeah, it's not that video, and it's a joke. I Young, the majority shareholder from 4 weeks ago, he has been described as having relevant experience in business operations management and business leadership. It doesn't seem likely, does it? That's like a reference a mate gives you for a new job. An absolute joke. I mean, he might be great in business, but something has gone wrong here. The EFL haven't done their checks properly. Wigan have got dodgy owners. They've been allowed to take control, and now they've been put into administration. There's been a few statements come out from the administrators that are trying to get the club sold or make sure people keep their jobs. I'll read one of them out now from Paul Stanley. He said, We understand that everybody connected with the club and wider football community is seeking clarity on the future of Wigan Athletic. That's exactly what we are seeking to provide as we move through this process and we seek out interested parties to restore this famous old club. Now, clearly there will be an interested party, hopefully, in Dave Whelan, a safe pair of hands to come in, but there's going to be other clubs down the line who struggle. Now, Wigan are going to be deducted 12 points. They're not going to finish in the bottom three, it looks like normally, so it will be this season. It is applied. And what does that mean for the Championship table and those teams at the bottom? Well, Wigan are now 14th on 50 points as it stands. This 12-point deduction will take them down to 38 points and put them bottom of the Championship. Thank the Lord they won those 3 games straight from lockdown. They're going to need to keep up that form if they want to stay in the division. At the moment, Huddersfield are in 22nd place, the final relegation place, on 42 points. So they're 4 points in the relegation zone, if you like, even though the table won't show it at the minute, if that makes sense. They've got a chance to stay up. They're good enough to show up. They've beaten some great teams in recent weeks. I really hope they do it, because this isn't the players' fault. It isn't Paul Cook's fault. Most of all, it isn't the fans' fault. Wigan Athletic deserve, and they've shown they deserve to be a Championship club. And dodgy businessmen, the EFL, have ruined it for them, put them in serious danger here. Hopefully they can stay up. We'll have to wait and see. I've spoken just then about EFL clubs and other clubs struggling. The likes of Accrington, Andy Holt has been saying how much clubs are going to struggle. The EFL need to look after some of their own. There needs to be some sort of payments coming down, because other clubs, Wigan won't be the first, basically, is what I'm going to say. There's going to be other clubs that follow suit, because loads of clubs have lost loads of income in this difficult period, this unprecedented period. We've never had football fans not be able to go to games like this and support their clubs. They're doing all they can, but it is incredibly difficult. So I hope it doesn't have too much of an impact on the Football League system. I hope we get to keep all of our clubs, really. I mean, we saw Bury go bust last year, and that was hard enough to take, but this really could spoil the English Football League divisions if more and more clubs go out of business. It really is a worry this time. I think this has really impacted Wigan. It's really impacted the Championship, clearly. But we need to make sure we keep our clubs afloat. There's loads of people who work for them, staff members, not just players and coaches, staff members, cleaners, all these people need to keep their jobs. So it's difficult to take this. It's difficult to take because once again, it's being taken out of the control of the fans and the players and the manager. But there we go. I mean, there's my reaction. I think you can tell I'm quite emotional about it. I think the EFL changes need to be made to the fit and proper persons test. That's the least that needs to happen, because we can't keep having situations like this, like Macclesfield, like other clubs, loads of them in the EFL. Hopefully Wigan gets sorted. Hopefully Dave Whelan or somebody else sensible comes in and saves the club. We'll have to wait and see if they can stay up. I really hope they can. I really think they will. So let's hope that Wigan can stay up. They've got the players. Let's hope they do it. But that's it from me on today's video, guys. Please stick around for more. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of thing. Okay, see you on the next one, guys. Cheers.